Hello and welcome to the Bronze Age Monsters bonus show. This is a show we make each and every week for our loyal patrons, where we talk about a movie we watched along with our Discord friends. This is a movie that Matt paired with a comic we read, but we're a little off, so we talked about The Scarecrow this week, and we are watching the movie we were going to watch for Modred the Mystic 2, which is The Sword and the Sorcerer from 1982, directed by Albert Pyun. I'm Jacob Balcom.
I'm Matt Howell. Sorry. The whole being out of sync thing is, how I am with my rigorous scheduling and stuff like that. So it just makes me laugh.
It's funny. It's funny every time.
Yeah. So you didn't join us on this one?
No, I wasn't. I was unable to. I was helping my frantic wife get ready for her 3-week trip up to Portland. Yeah. So, yeah, but I wish I did, because this was a movie that would have. It would have just been fun to watch this. It's a fun movie, so it would have been fun to watch with a bunch of people.
Yeah. So we're talking about, as you could tell from the title, probably The Sword and the Sorcerer from 1982. Where was this on your awareness? Was this on your radar? Did you have any kind of a relationship with it as a film existing in the known universe?
Not at all.
Really? Okay. So this one definitely I was keenly aware of. I've mentioned on the show a little bit, and you and I have talked about this before, that I'm a latecomer to sword and sorcery stuff. I did not get it. I like the idea of it. I loved seeing Savage Sword of Conan on the shelves. I loved looking through them, but I just never clicked with me. Just like the same way football didn't click until I was an adult. And then it's just like one day, just a switch is flipped and you get it. But this was something I always saw, and I did watch a lot of these movies. I think you're probably going to agree with me that this subgenre in the early 80s of these films was probably due to the success of John Milius's Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was, as there always is, there was copycats and people kind of jumping on. My personal favorite from this wave of fantasy or sword and sorcery stuff was Beastmaster. Don Coscarelli's, the guy who made Phantasm, made Beastmaster,
which is awesome.
Mark Singer, and I fucking love that movie. It's got a scene that traumatized me in it. I just bought a Blu-ray in the last year. I've seen it a dozen times. Love that movie.
It's a great movie.
There's another one that's pretty well known. A lot of these are very B, very low budget. Some of them are awfully sleazy, leaning into the sex and the violence of Conan and the source material. Deathstalker is a pretty well-known one that was very rented, did very well in the home video market. I saw that at a sleepover party. But yeah, there's a whole subgenre of these. So, but this one always loomed pretty large in my awareness of the genre, and I never got around to seeing it. So I was really excited when we saw Dr. Mordred, and we're asking what should we do for the next Modred the Mystic episode, and someone posted this oh my God, great.
Yeah.
Because it's literally been on my list for about 35 years.
Oh, and it fits very well.
Yes, it does. So, so we watched it all together without you because you were occupied elsewhere, and pretty good time. I think it was fun to watch as a crowd, and
yeah,
I was surprised with. I didn't realize how well this film did. Did you? I don't know if you dove into any of the stats. We talked about this on the watch along, but this cost $4 million. Written by Albert Pyun and 2 other people, and directed by him. That's Callie.
It is.
And so $4 million, and it made about just shy of 40 million.
It's crazy, right? I
Huge
saw all those stats.
story.
Yeah, massive success story. So, yeah, really, really cool. I love that you could do that.
Yeah. So, I definitely have, I don't know if you want to do immediate responses or just a very brief synopsis of the setup, but the premise here is that Richard Lynch is a villainous character named Titus Cromwell, and he approaches this dead wizard and has one of his worshippers in a cave resurrect him in this coffin of blood, sarcophagus of blood, and he brings him back and asks hey, I want your power to conquer this King Richard, I think it was, and we'll be partners and we'll conquer the world. I can't seem to beat this guy. And then he immediately betrays the wizard and stabs him literally in the back and shoves him off a cliff after he achieves his goal, and takes out King Richard's family and all of his heirs, supposedly. There's one named Talon who escapes. And then we flash forward. We want to take it from there, just like finish the setup.
Yeah, so Talon has kind of spent the decade being a mercenary, and he comes back to, I guess, I don't know. He comes back basically to gain revenge, but helps along this other. I don't know. Was it the Leather Lord? Because the woman played a princess as well, so it was another line that was fighting against Richard, right?
Yeah, I mean, the person that is named to be the heir to Richard was actually King Richard's, what's the guy, advisor, his son. So it's kind of a very sketchy lineage.
It is.
That's a weird heir, but okay.
It is a weird heir, and it's just it's really goofy fun. I mean, the three-pronged sword that shoots itself. You can shoot a blade out of it. I was like, oh man, that's just 10-year-old boy dream right there. But I did love you're right. The opening scene with the wizard being resurrected, which is Richard Mall.
Yes, from Night Court. Bull from Night Court.
Bull from Night Court. Did you read that trivia that when he came out of the muck, the contact lenses fused to his eyes?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. Okay, so it says the contact lenses he wore reacted poorly to the muck he rose out of. They ended up fusing to his eyes, and he had to have them surgically removed. Since he was out of commission, he was recast for some sequences later on.
Oh my God.
What the fuck, right? That's the scariest thing, hands down.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, the gist of the plot basically is that Talon has returned and he's a mercenary. He's been living in the wild and kind of just doing mercenary not ne'er-do-well, just harrowing, adventuring, capering. Mm-hmm. And the woman in question wants to hire him to install her cousin, I think, or brother.
I think. Her brother.
Like Mika, something in his rightful place. Again, we were saying that's kind of a weird lineage. And he agrees to do it, but he doesn't want any money. He just wants to have sex with her as his payment.
Yeah, he's a bit of a rogue. He's a cad.
Rogue is a perfect word.
He's a bounder.
Yes.
So yeah, it's and the woman is Kathleen Brennan. Let me make sure I got that right.
Forgot her name.
Kathleen Beller. And yeah, I was looking, and she's, aside from this, she's best known for being in that Italian play and The Godfather 2.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, she's like the woman in that De Niro and his buddy go to. And she's the woman, his buddy's girlfriend that he loves, who's in that play.
Okay.
So that was her first big thing.
So I knew Richard Lynch, the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Character actor, always plays villainous characters. He's got kind of a weird reptilian face.
It's freaky.
Scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, and everything he was in. And I knew George Maharis, the guy who played McKelly, Cromwell's war chancellor.
No, he's from Route 66, right?
Yeah, he's in everything. Yeah. I mean, that guy had a huge career. I immediately saw him. I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. But I did not know Talon. I didn't know Lee Horsley at all.
I'd never heard of Lee Horsley, and I didn't really know the stuff he was in either.
And he looks like, you remember in, the one season that Chevy was on SNL, he looks like a handsome version of 1975 Chevy Chase.
Yeah, I can see that.
He has the butt chin. He's like the prettier version of Chevy Chase.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
So we won't spoil any of this, but you might be able to figure out some of the broad strokes and the beats and the whatever. But what'd you think? Just a general...
going in, I was just, I didn't love it immediately, but it really grew on me as it went on. And then by the end, I was all in, especially the last 20 minutes of the movie. I was just like, okay, this is rad. Yeah.
I guess for me, these films almost always do this, except Beastmaster, because again, I have it infused in my DNA, but there's always a cool setup. It's the same thing with Kroll, where it's there's an element I really like about it as a kid, and I want more of it, and I'm frustrated it's not there. And then it's there at the end, and it's cool. And then at the end, I'm just kind of like, it was good. I would have liked more of the glaive, just kind of.
Yeah.
So I love the opening sequence, resurrecting this evil wizard. That was amazing and blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. How have I not seen this yet? And then the movie settles into what it is, and it's a fun adventure. It's fun.
Yeah, it's not great. You're right. The beginning is great. The middle is okay. The ending is pretty damn fun.
The ending's badass.
And it's super badass. I loved the trivia more than the movie in a lot of ways.
I bet. You got any more good stuff?
Yeah, so it says stuntman Jack Tyree was killed when he jumped off a cliff and missed his airbags.
Oh my God.
When asked if anyone fully determined what went wrong with the stunt, Albert Pyun said Tyree had said he jumped from that location before. Pyun added that he was a babe in the woods on his first film and he was elsewhere at the time shooting a different scene. So maybe that's true. Who knows? And then, yeah, there's a thing about Richard Mall getting his fucking contact lenses fused to his eyes. The best one is Oliver Reed was originally cast as the film's narrator.
Oh, wow.
But showed up drunk and upset he was there at all.
No.
I know, right? Shocking. He says his verbal attacks escalated to breaking things in the office, but once he calmed down, he tossed a few compliments Albert Pyun's way. The director still asked for him to be replaced.
Okay.
Oliver Reed, 1982. I mean, that's what happened. That's what happens when he walks into any room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if you said anything other than that about Oliver Reed, I would not believe you.
You'd just be like, no, that's not true.
So are you saying that the guy that died, was he doing the stunt when, what's the name of the, Zhuja, whatever, the Richard Moll's character, when he's betrayed in the beginning, is that stunt?
I don't...
When he falls off the cliff after he's betrayed by Titus?
I think so. I'm assuming they reshot it so you're not seeing a man plummet to his death.
Wow, that's horrifying.
Yeah, super horrifying, right? Yeah.
Fucking A. So, yeah, we won't spoil this for you. You can watch this on... so I found it on YouTube. And I was super stoked because we normally do a screen share on our watch-alongs, and I play it through a VLC client thing. And like, it's always fun when we can have the YouTube app, the actual shared activity on the Discord. So, like, oh, yeah, it's on YouTube. And I pulled it up, and it looked like Atari graphics. It was the lowest resolution I've ever seen. I literally couldn't tell what a frame was that I paused on. It turned out to be the priestess woman that was going to resurrect the wizard in the beginning. So I downloaded it. But you can watch it on that. But it's available like on Tubi. It's available on every free thing.
I watched it on Tubi. It looked really good. Yeah, it's funny. This was the other thing. And maybe we need to find this emulator online. Speaking of Atari. So there was Coleco did a video game adaptation of this movie.
Holy shit.
But due to the video game crash of 1983, it never went beyond the prototype stage. But the game is on the internet, even though it's a demo. So we
got released as a demo online.
Yep.
Okay. Damn.
Fucking awesome.
Can't be worse than E.T.
No, it can't. I don't think Talon's gonna fall into a hole and you just will spend 2 hours trying to get him out.
Yeah. Why is my neck keep going up?
Yeah.
God damn. Okay, that's fascinating. Is there any? Did you look on YouTube for any gameplay?
No, I didn't. I'm sure it's there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's totally unrelated. I'm sure it's like at the time, right? Those were like the movie story and this are totally different things.
Yeah, but I love a ColecoVision. Maybe they cared enough about story. Maybe they were the more artsy. Who knows?
I think ColecoVision was one of the better home consoles at that time. So
I did too. No, my cousins had it, and I thought it was very cool. I thought it was better than my Atari.
Oh fuck yeah! No, ColecoVision ruled.
Yeah.
Especially for like arcade game adaptations, way better than anything that was adapted to Atari.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we won't spoil the ending for you, but it was definitely the highlight for me. There were we had a great time watching as a crowd, like you said, because there's some gore And there's some like, just cool sequences like action stuff where we're kind of cheering along. I think I was the most excited about anybody. But yeah, I mean, a sword that has 3 blades and can shoot them spring loaded. That's fucking cool. There's a deadly wizard played by a giant Richard Mole. I liked it. I didn't love it though, but I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah, claw up for me.
Yeah, not the most enthusiastic. You know what would have made it better? 1990 Patricia Arquette.
Right. Yeah, can't get it out of my head. Just singing Chicken Pot Pie all day long.
Yeah. No, it was fun, and it kind of rekindled that love of this genre and this era. So I'm gonna go and like watch some of the ones I never did get around to, like Deathstalker 2 and a couple of those other ones. It was fun, and I actually kind of want to check out Albert Pyun's filmography. He died in just recently.
Yeah, I think 2020.
Yeah. So he did a bunch of stuff that often had martial arts in it. I saw some quotes online that were basically saying like he is essentially like the Ed Wood of the 80s B-movie scene. And I don't. Ed Wood could not have made Sword and the Sorcerer. I'm sorry.
I hate it when people say that because it's just they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Ed Wood could not have made that. And I don't know. I hate it when people say that. I'm sure you do too.
It infuriates me. Ed Wood was a certain kind of incompetent. And just casually throwing that around just to say this guy makes B movies and that's all he's ever made is the most ignorant possible description I can possibly think of.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Breen is worse than Ed Wood, you know?
Yes.
The Room, that's worse than any Ed Wood film. Like,
yeah.
Those earn that. Like Kickboxer 2, Kickboxer 4, Nemesis, Cyborg. Yeah. Cyborg was kind of a well-known, I think that had a Van Damme in it, I think.
So as I was looking through his filmography, I'm like, I swear to God, multiple from that list have been on B movie bingo.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's the era and the genre specific that they do at B movie bingo.
Yes. And so if you don't know, folks, B-Movie Bingo is something that the Hollywood Theater, the independent theater that I'm a member of, and Jacob and I used to go to a lot of the films there, they would show movies just like Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme from 1989. And you get a bingo card, and it's just cliche stuff from 80s B-movies. So Warehouse Shootout, Kicked Off the Force, like just, whatever, just different cliches. And if you get bingos throughout the movie, you get to go up to the front and there's prizes like posters from the movie and different stuff. And it was super fun.
It's the most fun I think I've ever had whenever we would go or I had gone before. It's the loudest thing you'll see at the theater. Just people scream the whole time.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's chaos.
And people arguing about, and they also like it's not. It is literally a VHS. It's a
that they
VCR. Yeah, just hooked up to the projector. So it looks like shit. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next thing is going to be our final thing. By the way, is going to be us watching an episode of Boris Karloff in Thriller, of an anthology series he did in the early '60s. This is from the second season, and it's called The Hollow Watcher. And it is themed to the last Scarecrow issue that we talked about.
Excited. So this is our last one.
Yes. So this season, since we started doing the bonus show, we've always done something that was paired to the issues. So when it was Werewolf by Night, we literally just watched a werewolf movie every week. That predates the watch along, but we would watch a werewolf movie and then talk about it. And I think you've said on recent bonus shows or not too long ago that we kind of backed our way into being doctorates of lycanthropy in cinema.
That's right.
So the question that we've been kind of kicking around and not really answering is, what do we do for season 6 Creature Commandos? If you don't know, Creature Commandos was a story that appeared intermittently as full stories or backups in Weird War Tales.
That's right.
And so it's set during World War II. It's a special commando unit that is made of monsters to fight the Nazis. So we've just kind of put out there, like, what does that mean for us? What do we want to do now?
Yeah.
So we're having an open conversation here. This is live behind the scenes BAM production conversation.
Okay, well, my first thought is there are not enough monster-based war films, I think, to take us through with the model that we are doing right now. Creature Commandos is not going to be a super long season because there's just not that much. I don't know. Is it going to be a dozen episodes? 15 episodes? Well, depending on what we do, because some of these short stories are quite short. Some of them are backups. So if if you have bought or you look at the trade of Creature Commandos, it's thin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, I mean, this season had, I don't know, 40 episodes or something.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be even 20, I don't think. I think it's going to be 15.
Yeah. So
Tops.
So a few of those, like where it's like a backup and it's like a 5-page story, and there's other ones where it's like, oh, this is just a 12-page story, and there's other ones that are full 18. Mm-hmm. When it's like a 12 and an 8 or 12 and a 5, and they are next to adjacent issues, I've just mushed those together.
Yep.
So there will be episodes where we're talking about a short backup and a medium-sized backup as one episode. So I think it's 18 episodes long.
Okay.
On the current plan.
Yeah, well, from the spreadsheet you made. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think we asked this question on the Discord, and I think it was Grace who said, hey, why don't you guys watch World War II set horror movies? And so I said, well, I don't know if there's enough for that. But then I started writing a list down.
Oh,
want me to run through this a little bit here?
Yeah, let's run through it.
She said, what about Burial? This is like from 2 years ago. It's a Nazi werewolf movie.
Cool.
Overlord was a Nazi zombie movie that came out like 4 years ago.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of Nazis in this.
The Keep is from the early 80s. Shockwaves with Peter Cushing. That's a Nazi zombie movie. Dead Snow, a Nazi zombie movie, which was
there you go.
Comedy. Werewolves of the Third Reich. Some of these get into the pretty low, like 2B, like C grade kind of stuff. Frankenstein's Army. Most of these are modern as well. Horrors of War. Blood Vessel, which was on Shudder, but I would download that. That is a World War II submarine vampire movie, which was totally entertaining. So I have almost a full. We could do this. There's enough movies.
Okay, I mean, I would instantly agree to that because I do like the format, and I think no matter what we choose, I think if that thing didn't include the watch along, I think you and I would be a little bummed out.
Yeah,
we want to
get along would suck.
Yeah, we want to continue that format as long as we can. I mean, who knows if we'll be able to pull it together? I don't know. I mean, we're going to change the whole nature of the show in the Atlas Seaboard season. So yeah. I think that this could be a good way to go out with, still pairing movies to. Yeah, I think, Grace, that's a great idea. I think that is definitely something. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I think it's interesting. And I went to the work of like Googling and making a list. So that's one idea. Okay. The other idea, my initial idea, just like a gut, like default mode, was like, let's just keep kind of going in the same vein of, I guess, like a fusion between the werewolf seasons and this current season, where it's just maybe a rotating thing, because in Creature Commandos, there's a Frankenstein type monster, a werewolf, a vampire, a Gorgon joins the team. I think that's it. But I was like, well, what if we just rotated and just watched one of those movies and not be adhering to any kind of World War II theme? Just like, same way we just watched werewolf movies, we would watch a Frankenstein type movie. We would watch a vampire. I mean, that's an idea too.
That is an idea. And I feel like that idea, the pros for that idea is we could stay more in the older film realm instead of just doing
2018 shot on video.
I'm assuming like the majority of that list you're making is modern.
The majority of that list that I read off to you was made in the last 10 years and was incredibly low budget, probably went directly to Prime or Crackle or something.
Which,
so
a freebie exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of that stuff is like that. And like you were saying, the bummer would be if we weren't doing a watch along, if we remove that from the equation, I would be like, no, that's too much pot.
I don't want to do movies if we don't. I mean, I think if we're going to do movies, we're going to do a watch along. Whether that lasts past this season, I don't know. But I think that if we're going to do that, we're going to do a watch along. So I don't know. I mean, I see the strengths in both of those. I think thematically, obviously, like Grace's idea fits. I don't know if it would be as fun in the actual watch along. I mean, you and I, we just like older cinema.
We do. And yeah, I mean, I have tons of psychotronic video guides and movie guides that are full of stuff that I've been meaning to watch since I bought the book in '93. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of really crappy stuff that is legendary that I wouldn't mind getting to. So I wouldn't mind actually a fusion and maybe, like pulling some of the like Shockwaves and The Keep and like some of these early 80s movies that happen to be World War II set.
Yeah.
And just kind of, and then throwing in some more like 60s, like, I mean, I fucking loved one of my favorite things of this last season. We probably should have talked about our favorites movies. That was a miss on my part. I'm sorry. But, the fucking, what was it called? Mummy and the Curse of the Jackals or whatever.
Oh, that was
fucking amazing.
That was amazing.
So like in my heart of hearts, like I want to watch things shot on Super 8 on the Vegas Strip without licenses, like that stuff. Permits.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, that was the most fun, and that's where our hearts lie. So I think programming towards that, maybe throw in one or two of the newer films in, keeping the ones from the 80s on that list, and then just figuring out, I don't know, what you would want to watch, what you think out of your psychotronic. Like I said, I'm sure you just have a list in your head of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that that all of it would fit. Because, I mean, the theme is just going to be the characters. Like I wonder if we could find any Gorgon films. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, there's Gorgon films.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. There's one with Peter Cushing that was it's Hammer, but not Hammer type of movie. There's plenty.
Cool. No, I'm in. Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think a hybrid, a fusion of those two ideas is probably the best path.
Okay. I think it might be fun, like you were saying, to throw in like try one of those like Werewolves of the Third Reich and just see how bad is a 2018 werewolf Nazi movie?
Yeah,
probably awful.
Probably pretty bad. We need to know.
We can all hold hands.
Yep.
And get through it together.
That's right.
Okay, I like that. So yeah, I mean, we are going to be essentially doing a pretty big retool of the show after the next season. So be kind of nice to write out this current format of a movie, watch along, and chat about it, and then something fun at the end, like we normally do.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me. I've also been kind of casting around for it. I did really enjoy in the first season of the bonus show having the urge to scourge. I wish we could find something like that was like something that jumped around Marvel books or something and was just like a recurring thing, and it's just like we could kind of do a light review where it's just mostly just us kind of clicking through it and not necessarily reviewing it like we would on the main show, not doing the Power Record stream, and just something in the middle of just kind of, and then on this page we see this and blah, blah, blah. And it was like light and fun, and I really thought that was cool.
It was cool. So yeah, we'll think about that. Let's brainstorm that and see if we can keep that into the format.
I would posit that I think one good one would be maybe something like The Hunt for the Bloodstone that went through Captain America or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. Some Bloodstone stuff would probably fit.
Yeah, but I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't actually cover Ulysses Bloodstone, which I've been talking to you about since we started, since the rebrand. Like, I've always loved his backup in Rampaging Hulk and his first two issues in Marvel Presents. So I think it's a great character. Most people only really know him from his daughter or his appearance as a desiccated animated corpse in the Werewolf by Night Disney special. So it'd be cool to see him in the way he was intended in the 70s as a immortal monster killing adventurer. I think that's such a cool idea. So maybe we should do that.
No, maybe I'd be into that.
Because his story isn't long enough. He died pretty early. His story's not long enough to sustain like a whole season or a mini season, really.
He doesn't have more than like 7 or 8 appearances.
There's 2 issues of Marvel Presents, and then he goes in Rampaging Hulk from like issue 2 through like 8, and he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 8 appearances total. So yeah.
Yeah. That might be a good one.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
Okay. So I think we just This is how this works, folks. This is how we get where we go.
That is.
Okay, cool. All right, then. So I think we have a plan here. I'm going to start working on a film list for the next season. And we're not going to talk about our favorite films of this season on the finale because that doesn't make sense. Not everybody's members and knows that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll just consider that a whiff on my part. I normally plan ahead, and we would normally do the last bonus episode of the season talking about this, but we didn't.
Yeah, that's okay. No, this is good.
Yeah, we can just do a quick thing though. I mean, like definitely that werewolf one, the Curse of the Jackals. That was probably my favorite, honestly. That one, and that Spanish one on the cruise ship with the mummy. That's
oh, that was so weird. That was great.
I love that one.
That was
I
pretty
absolutely
good.
love it. It was so sleazy, and it was psychedelic and bizarre.
Yeah, that one was really bizarre.
And I loved how much everyone else hated it. That only augmented my love for it. Yeah,
I liked it better on the second time, but I did not like it on the watch along. Well, you know, and the first El Santo movie we watched, I really liked.
Yeah, that was great.
The first one was great. The other ones were The other wrestling films we watched were not as good. But yeah, that first one I really liked. So I think between the Curse of the Jackal and that first El Santo versus the Momias.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We watched a lot of good films this season. Had a lot of fun with the Discord folk.
Yeah, we did. And if you are a member who is listening to this show and you haven't joined Discord yet, I'm not going to give you the whole thing about doing it, but we'd love to have you there on the watch alongs. It is almost like family at this point.
Yeah.
My wife has been joining us. She now is there whenever she can be, and she misses everyone when not there. Tells me to say hi to people, and like it is like a nice end to the weekend. It's almost always on Sunday unless we have to move something around to like a Saturday. But yeah, it's just a great way to end the week and kind of get ready for the week ahead. Like just watch a weird movie, say hey to some friends, and enjoy a little psychotronic cinema.
It is really nice. It's like even sometimes I'm just like, oh shit, I'm really busy this Sunday. But then I'm like, okay, no, I'm still going to make it. And then once I do, I'm so happy I did. Like, I don't like missing them. So yeah, I was not a fan that I had to miss this one, but I had to.
We missed you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is going to be a wrap here. We have a little something that is from our conversation when we were recording the most recent episode. Jacob was talking about the music project that he's going on right now, and I was like, we got to stick this in the bonus show. This is cool. So you're going to hear that right now. He was not using his good webcam, so it's a little grainy image of him, but it's a good conversation, and it's exciting stuff about where Jacob's going with his next creative project. So enjoy that right now.
What I'm doing is that I have a setup. We found this like 70s like fucking suitcase like cassette recorder, and so I'm doing this project where I'm making a demo tape to send Jason a bunch of different like new songs, but I'm also I'm doing something to where I'm doing covers, I'm doing things, and it's a first thought best thought thing, and to where I'm doing things that I would be too embarrassed to do. I'm not letting shame or embarrassment stop anything from the very first thought. So there are going to be 2 recitations accompanied by avant-garde kalimba. So
remind me what kalimba is again.
It's the thumb piano thing.
Oh, the African.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, it's been very freeing and fun.
Recitations of what?
One dream. One, I don't know.
Oh, original stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not like Blake or something.
No.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay.
So
I definitely would not be comfortable. That would be a very tough space for me to get into creatively.
Yeah. Well, for me too, but I'm just not giving a shit. And I'm kind of framing it like, only Jason's going to see this. But also I'm framing it like I'm framing it like you know how you go through like, oh, I'm having fun playing this cover song these days. And I'm thinking about this. So I'm having it more be a snapshot.
Yeah, totally. Like when I first heard Mountain Ghost, the first thing I heard was Beautiful Rat Sunset. And the impression I got from hearing that was like, this sounds like a guy that writes a song a week and like after a couple of months picks his favorite songs and just puts a tape out.
Yep.
And I love that vibe. Like
Yeah.
I love that energy, and I love that kind of like I got to write a song a day or whatever. I do something creative every day. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. So it's a bunch of covers on the ukulele. Yeah, it's going to be weird, and I don't know. I'm excited. It's really fun. It's very fun to create in a space where you don't care.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I feel like I self-edit a lot to where I'm like, oh, that's stupid. Like that's embarrassing. I'm not going to do that. But I am forcing myself not to do that.
I love
Kind of
that.
fun. Yeah, it's fun.
And otherwise, let's say goodbye.
All right. Well, I think I've pushed Sweet Pea to the edge to where she doesn't join me anymore for the Satan hailing. But yeah, it's been a good season. We watched a lot of good films. We had a lot of good bonus shows. So let's give it up to the man. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. I'll kill a martini for Satan any day.
Any day of the week.
All right, folks, that's the bonus show. We'll see you next season.
Bye.